Okay, people have been hitting me up asking where it's at, so here we go. The full Denver video. The other Denver part 1 and part 2. This is Denver, Colorado in a parallel dimension, located in A 1002 2015 Z parallel. Here we go, let's get started. What you're about to witness is quite simply, I'll just put it straight to you, it's a parallel universe. This is the one of many parallel universes. This version, this place is called A1002 2015Z, which I will talk about some other day in some other video. This is the carbon copy, mimic, replica version of Denver, Colorado. This is a parallel universe, and what you're about to witness here and what you're about to watch is a video that a lot of human eyes have not seen, but here you are now, for some reason, watching this video. So anyways, welcome to the other Denver. Here we go, let's get started. I'm literally walking around in downtown Denver, and it's so quiet that you can hear my footsteps as I walk across the street. You can even hear the keys in my pocket rattling as I walk. Plus, it's so quiet that you can literally hear the wind, the light breeze just blowing by. In this next scene that I shot right here, I kind of messed up because I was holding my camera kind of in an awkward angle. So unfortunately, the way I was holding my camera, I was plugging the microphone. I was like, my hands were gripping the camera. My GoPro, it's like a little tiny cube, a square. So the way I was holding it, my fingers were covering the microphone hole. So, but at some point within like I think a couple seconds, I do switch hands, which frees up the microphone. Like I'm holding the camera in a different position, so all of a sudden you can hear more clearly. But initially, it's going to sound really muffled because unfortunately I was holding the camera improperly, and as a result, you can't really hear the sound too well. Eerie, still, quiet, like it's a fucking movie. Earth, yeah. You hear all kinds of sounds right here. Just hear us walking around. You can always hear that distant sound. You hear it? That faraway, light, distant sound that comes and goes. It sounds like a faraway airplane, like I always describe it. It's nothing. I can always walk miles. Absolutely nowhere. Literally nowhere on earth does any city, day or night, especially a city the size of Denver, Colorado, sound and or look like this. But if you're in a different dimension, then of course it does. I almost have to laugh at how quiet it is out here. It's like insane. I mean, come on, this is like broad daylight in one of the biggest cities in America on a Monday morning. Oh yeah, you see how it sounds? It sounds like I'm out in the middle of freaking nowhere. Because this dimension has nobody. Even though I'm right in the middle of a city, a massive city. Look, and there you go. There's the Denver right there, the Denver Post. Massive media organization. I wonder if anybody from that newspaper is going to see this video. Well, if anyone watching this is somewhat curious as to essentially what it would look like and or I guess feel like, both what it would feel like and what it would look like to be, last person on earth, well, I guess this would be it. The only thing you see right here is my shadow. I'm here. I'm the only thing moving. I'm the only thing out here. No one else and nothing else is going on. No one else is out here. Nothing else is going on. It's just complete silence, emptiness, everything empty, completely alone. Here we go. Some slow motion footage. I mean, just let everything sink in. In the middle of downtown Denver on a Monday. Yeah, that's normal. To be this quiet. Not, it's so quiet I can whisper, huh? Yeah, that's normal. Like nothing. No cars, no ambulance, no cops, no. But you still see me though, my reflection. I'm the only thing out here moving. Buses, no people walking, jogging, talking, like no street noise. Here we go, some more footage in slow motion, inch by inch, foot by foot. As I cross this road here, you could see, as far as the eye can see, there's nothing going on, no one. Even those rent-a-scooters that are always propped up around the city, they're just still. Everything's absent of people. Occasionally you'll have these cars that are just parked in the street with the lights on and they're running, but there's no one in it. Empty vehicles in some cases that are just parked on the side of the street with no one in it. Everything empty. So you'll notice sometimes that I mute the sound in the background because it's so annoying. I hate the way that audio sounds played in slow motion. So when I have these slow motion clips, typically I'm gonna just remove it. In this case, coming up, I'll phase it out, I'll fade it out. But yeah, I just hate the way slow motion audio sounds in the background when the video is being played in slow motion. So for the most part, I'm gonna just mute those parts. Anything in slow motion will just be muted going forward because, you know, the regular clips, of course, during the regular clips, you'll hear the regular sound, you see the regular audio visual, but for the slow motion, yeah, I'm gonna just mute it. So as you can see in this video, like all of my videos, I kind of fluctuate back and forth for the most part between doing some voiceover commentary like I'm doing right here right now, and that mixed with a lot of just actual raw clips of me just walking around, moving around the town, any of these cities that I go to, in this case Denver, filming left to right, side to side, up and down, getting shots of the sky, shots of the buildings, shots of the sidewalks, shots of the streets, just filming everything exactly as it is, you know, for what it is. And so that's all this is pretty much. I do fluctuate, like I said, back and forth between the actual clips. I have some in slow motion. I do freeze frame pictures, some in slow motion, like I said, and actual clips too, as they actually are, as well as these clips like this, which is, you know, sometimes it's paused and there's voiceover commentary added to it. So that way people have a full idea of exactly what I'm dealing with, experiencing and filming and documenting this alternate dimensional reality, or as I like to refer to it as a universal mimic galaxy. Ultimately, the easy way to just say what it is, it's a parallel universe. This is a replica version of Denver. I am not in Denver, Colorado, United States, America. I am in a parallel universe, alternate dimensional reality version of basically a simulation of Denver on a different place. You can hear this ominous sounding, weird, like automated machine sounding squeak noise echoing throughout this outdoor mall area. Well, in a second, you'll find out. I'll be able to show you what that is. That squeaking sound you're hearing is the escalators. You hear the it's kind of creepy. The escalators are just going. That's the squeaking you're hearing. It's coming from up there. Yep, that's the squeaking sound you're hearing. When I was over there, you were hearing it too. You could hear it kind of echoing. That's how quiet it is. It's so quiet that you can literally hear this escalator squeaking as it runs. That's crazy. It just squeak, squeak. I'm not gonna go up there because I already walked around everywhere. It's not a big deal anymore. It's like whatever. Yep, now you know. Okay, let's go to the other side of this outdoor mall. Yep. Yeah. I love Denver. The 303. I love it. Especially when I'm the only one here. I love the people of Denver, but where I'm at right now, there is no people. Because this ain't really Denver. This is the other Denver. And if you don't know, now you know. Where should we go, folks? Go for a little run? You hear how quiet it is? Eerie, right? You hear random music sounds, you hear me stepping around, walking. And it's daylight, as you can see. It's in the morning, sure, it's in the morning, but it's 9 a.m. Well, actually 8:45. So, not quite 9, but 8:45 a.m. There should be plenty of people in all the streets of the 303, right? Denver? Well, doesn't look to be the case to me, folks. Looks to me like I'm the only one here, as usual. As usual. I mean, have you seen how many of these videos of mine do you got to see before you realize that it is a replica? I am the only one here. Look at this. Ooh, look straight down the alley. Not a single homeless person. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Everything that happens back on Earth happens here. Sometimes it's delayed. Sometimes it's a time stagger. It's delayed, but it does happen. All right, let's go somewhere else. We'll continue with our day. Escalator's still running, of course, as you can see. Oh, kind of spooky. Nobody up there, folks. Everything shuttered. 8:45, well, actually about 8:47 a.m. September 9th, 9/9/2024, Monday. Oh yeah? What do you folks think now? I mean, you literally hear nothing but me, right? You hear me talking, you hear me walking. Denver's a loud city. Sirens, ambulances, people talking, people walking around, cars. Nope! Nope, 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 nope. Nothing. All you hear is me. Per as usual, when you are in a parallel universe. Oh man, it's spooky. Soon eventually you'll see it be high noon. It'll be the same thing. Then it'll be in the afternoon, it'll be the same thing. And then in the evening and so on and so forth, same thing. All right. There's no way that these are the same cities, obviously. Look at that. Look at those beautiful towers. Gorgeous. What can I say, folks? What can I say, folks? What can I say? What can I say? Say, oh, what can I say? Just another beautiful day in a place where no one exists. What can I say? What can I say? I love getting a lot of shots of these towers. I don't know, I'm just kind of fascinated with it today. Oh, and I'm dressed the same and look the same. Same clothes. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, folks, you're in trouble. Well, not really, but you're in trouble now. Huh, that's interesting. I wonder why this giant flash screen billboard in the middle of downtown Denver, which, by the way, these flash screen billboards could be changed at the drop of a hat. That's why it's a digital billboard. You could just simply change the graphic and it's done. I mean, the people here at the convention center or whatever the hell building this is could literally change that in 1 second. But you know what's interesting about that? They haven't. And you know why? Even though this is not Earth, this is not Denver, Colorado, United States, America on Earth. This is the parallel universe version, the alternate dimensional reality version, simulation essentially, of Denver. But still, everything that happens back on Earth, once again, just to remind you, everything that happens back on actual physical Earth happens here in this parallel dimension, this universal mimic galaxy. That being said, anyways, back to my point. That's interesting. Look at this conference here. We got this giant conference. And what does it say? This national conference, you see the date, 2024, Engage. Oh, what's that right below? Colorado Convention Center, September 11th through the 13th. That's interesting. You know why that's interesting? Because today is 9/9/2024. So that actually proves and substantiates, I bet you any asshole on earth can go look up the website for the Colorado Convention Center and see that they have this giant symmetry, whatever it is, symmetry, national conference convention thing called Engage 2024, September 11th through the 13th, Colorado Convention Center. There you go, folks. Giant, massive digital outdoor billboard. Oh, well, anyone wanting to say that this is from 4 or 5 years ago during some so-called pandemic era when the streets were somewhat, not even nearly close to as absent and as vacant of people and as still and as quiet. Even back in those so-called pandemic eras during the shelter at place thing that they talked about, which even then, no one was really fully sheltering that place. There was still bus service and essential workers and cabs out and cops and ambulances and still occasionally people walking and moving around, taking their dogs out, especially in a city where people live in these high-rise towers, taking their dogs out to the street to poop and do all that type of stuff. Yeah, you don't see any of that in this video. You know why? Because this is a parallel dimension, folks. Everything that happens back on Earth does happen here, but it's a staggered time sometimes. Sometimes it's instant, and sometimes the time is staggered. I'll explain that some other day. The point of it is, I told you guys not even that long ago in this video, today is 9/9/2024. 8:45, well, actually about 8:47 a.m. September 9th, 9/9/2024, Monday. Oh yeah? What do you folks think now? So 2 days from now, on 9/11 through the 13th, we have this giant conference coming up here. And I'm just filming it as it is, folks. There you go. Parallel universe, alternate dimensional reality. This one in particular is called A1002 2015Z. I'll explain that some other day. That is the parallel universe, alternate reality. Basically, you can call it almost a simulation of sorts. It's the parallel universe. It's the universal mimic galaxy that I travel to. And I'll tell you someday how I get there, because it ain't me. I don't have the ability to do it. But with the assistance of these interdimensional beings that I'm involved with, yes, it's quite easy to just simply transport to this dimension. And the more you watch these videos on my channel, the more you're just going to have to accept the reality that we live in a multi-dimensional universe, folks. And I am in the other Denver. I'm not in the Denver on Earth. For any other person on Earth, this would be the most pointless thing to say. But in my case, I'm one of 8 interdimensional time travelers that I know of. I've said this many times in many of my other videos. But I'm the only one who's, of the 8, who's pretty much consistently traveling back and forth between where I'm at right now, recording this commentary, which is, of course, Earth. I'm at home in Earth. I travel back and forth between this physical planet Earth, and I go to these essentially simulated versions of these Earth cities. A lot of what I'm doing is not really up to me. I'm kind of, I was selected 30 years ago for this, and now I'm 45 years old, carrying out this essentially mission, if you will. I work at the, how would I say, in conjunction or in collaboration with a team of, a group of interdimensional beings, 5th through 11th dimensional beings that are from, initially from a planet, a place, whatever, called Azura. They occupy infinite multiple dimensions, including the ones that or mimicked, replicated versions of Earth dimensions. Also, they also kind of are scattered throughout the star systems, interstellar. These are cosmic interstellar travelers. They're involved with a whole lot of stuff, and as a result of my being selected at age 15, 30 years ago, and then they started to utilize me this year with an event that started at the beginning of this year in January of 24. One night, leaving Los Angeles, going to Phoenix, and that was documented. That's the first video on my channel. That was just a test. That was my how do you say? I guess that's like the final. That was like my final test. I didn't know it was coming, and I didn't even really understand what was happening in that situation. When I was initially selected, I had no awareness of this back at age 15. I just know I had an encounter that was otherworldly, to say the least. I'm not going to get into that right now. Fast forward 3 decades later, like I said, 30 years later, at my current age of 45, this was the year that they activated me and the other 7. I don't know much about the other. I know enough about the other 7. I know some of them live in the United States. They're earthborn like me. They live in the United States. Some are overseas. The only one I have a little bit of information about the most is I'm not going to say her real name, but she'll be known by Nicole. She's living in the Arlington, Texas, the Dallas, Fort Worth, DFW, Texas area. She is a interdimensional time traveler as well. She is completely unknown. She is somebody who is not interested in exposing herself with any of this. She's carrying out the tasks that she was asked to do, essentially in silence. My specific assignment was, one of my specific assignments was to create an environment of awareness. My handler, Wind, W-Y-N-D, I call him the Frenchman. He's an interdimensional being who occupies multiple dimensions, multiple planet systems, and when he takes on many forms, his primary form is as a 28-year-old Earth male. He looks almost unreal. I mean, he's like 6'4", 6'5", white male living in the country of France, 28 years old. The details about him are pretty much unimportant. That's the shape, or I guess you could say the appearance, he decides to take on when he's on Earth. And people in France don't know him by Wind. I know him by Wind. I call him the Frenchman, though. But yeah, he's heavily involved with various, many entities, to say the least, government entities and civilian entities, military entities, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into all that. That's not important right now. But I don't know really what to say. What you're watching is, I'm just doing commentary. I figured most of this video just needs to be in slow motion, like just to really let it sink in, just to really let you understand what you're looking at and what you're seeing. You're not seeing Denver, Colorado in the United States of America on Earth. You might think you are. The matrix or the simulation has tricked your brain. You have been pre-programmed and conditioned to think that this is it, like the Earth and the space and the timeline that you occupy is it. I know some of you think there's no other dimensions and there's no other planetary systems and the galaxies are infinite. Some of you are actually, quite frankly, most of you are smart, reasonable, solid, good people. That's maybe 90% or 80% of you. The other 10 or 20% of you are just complete fucking idiots. And I'm sorry to tell you that, but you need a wake-up call, buddy. You are plugged in. I'm speaking in metaphors right now, but you quite literally are plugged into the fucking matrix. If you think for any reason on God's green earth, if human beings are it, you are completely delusional, my friend. There are, I'm not saying thousands or tens of thousands, there are quite frankly millions, tens of millions of interdimensional beings, various species. Also, this goes for O2Bs, otherworldly biological beings. Throughout your lifetime, I'm sure people have become aware of the fact that they call them, that's not their names, but people say gray aliens or green aliens or reptilians or Nordics or Zions, and just the different type of species, just a few that you maybe have heard of that kind of are cosmic travelers that come and go out of our airspace, out of our oceans, underneath our feet, put it that way, underneath the underground, underneath the so-called, we're human beings are pretty much surface dwellers, put it that way. We're a surface dwelling species. We're the most intelligent beings on this earth, but there was a time where we weren't even on Earth, and there was the ruling species, as you may know. Some of you might not even believe in this, and again, if you don't, you're probably an idiot. But tens of whatever it was, tens of millions or millions of years ago, during that Jurassic era, well, the dominant species on Earth was dinosaurs. That's how we describe them, right? Dinosaurs, but they were wiped out for whatever reason. They were wiped out. I actually have some insight as to why that happened. The whole asteroid thing, yeah, I'll have to maybe talk about that someday. But anyways, that was programmed. Let's put it that way. They were the dominant species, and then they were gone. And humans are essentially no more important to the Earth than dinosaurs were. So it could happen to us too. And right now we're on a trajectory. Human beings are kind of on a trajectory for some pretty catastrophic things headed away, which I can't get into right now. But the point of it is, just put it this way. Maybe I'm not going to say definitively, but I'll talk about definitive stuff later. But maybe this canvas was wiped clean for us, for the species to come forth as human beings, to evolve and become what we are now. Ultimately, with the goal in being to join this intergalactic family of other species. Like I said, I call them cosmic travelers, but all these different highly advanced, technologically highly advanced civilizations and species that occupy throughout the infinite space and time, as well as throughout the dimensions. And we're kind of, we're far. I mean, when I say far, we're far. Honestly, in some cases, hundreds of millions, billions of years behind other advanced species in some cases. I'll even be honest with you, the laws of physics and a lot of the things, a lot of the so-called, where we stand currently as human beings with our laws of physics and a lot of things, it doesn't even apply to these beings. Beings that can go they can go through walls and mountains and be cloaked, invisibility capabilities and time travel and interstellar space travel, spatial tunnels and interdimensional travel, everything, going back in time, going forward in time. I can't even get into all the stuff but where we stand in the grand scale of things as far as intellectual beings, we're kind of we're bottom feeders. We're at the bottom. We're really nowhere. Our journey as human beings is really just getting started. I mean, look at the technological advancements we've made just in the past 100 or 200 years. To be honest with you, think of it in these terms. You, right now, I'm talking to you listening to me. If you and I jumped in some magic spaceship and just dropped back on human Earth even 300 years ago, literally every single fucking human being that would encounter us would quite frankly think we're aliens. I mean, the way we dressed, if we were like, even the verbiage, even the language we use, like the way we were dressed, if we had a cell phone, if we had a computer, laptop, and a tablet, if we were in some sort of vehicle, if we talked about things like space travel and all this stuff that we would, the advanced knowledge, I mean, quite frankly, they would think of us as being aliens. We would appear, even the fact that we have a lifespan now, the average lifespan of a human is about roughly 75 to 85 years old. Well, 300 years ago, you'd be lucky if you even made it to 40. 40 was considered to be grandma, grandpa. Now it's like 40 is just barely middle age. So just every single aspect about us human beings right now, if you rewind back 200 or 300 years, those same human beings on Earth that are the people before us are essentially our ancestors, the humans that came before us, they would just look at us, if we just dropped into their timeline right now, talking the way we did, dressed the way we are, living the age we live to, having the technology we have, blah, blah, blah. They would literally have no idea that we're just future versions of them. And so that's my point. Everything's evolving, everything's advancing. Right now, there's a lot of things coming at human beings. So this video right here, I'm kind of getting off subject. There's so much stuff I'm going to have to talk about and discuss on this channel. But yes, my name is Corey. I am, in fact, an interdimensional time traveler, one of 8. And I'm not a YouTuber. Just so you know, I ain't no fucking YouTuber. I'm actually utilizing the Google and YouTube platform as essentially as a platform to get this information and this material out to the masses. That's my assignment, to create an environment of awareness regarding other beings that, quite frankly, been here before us. They occupy our space, most of which live under our oceans and under our feet, deep into parts of this earth that we can't access. There's reasons why humans have only gone so deep into the earth or so deep into the oceans. Cities that are not just below oceans, like open ocean, but like below the ocean floors. Entire civilizations of species and advanced species. And so, yeah, can't get into all that right now. But the point of this channel is going to be about creating. The assignment I got was to create an environment of awareness, starting with showing you videos that are just impossible to make. You can't just you can't just make fake empty cities. You literally have to visit them like I'm doing and film them as they are. In the case of Phoenix, I ran into multiple O2Bs, otherworldly biological beings that day. That was the first video on my channel. So let me address some of the things that people may think, because I'm kind of all over the place, obviously, with this commentary right here. But this channel is going to be about creating an environment awareness, which eventually will morph and kind of shift into talking about some of the extremely, to say the least, catastrophic, disastrous, nightmare scenarios that are coming for humans, namely a date of October 27th, 2027, the beginning of the Third World War. So it starts with the stuff I'm doing. So again, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm just a messenger. And I'm using YouTube as a platform to convey these messages, to provide this information and material to the world, starting with me visiting these parallel dimensions, specifically A1002 2015Z. That's primarily where I go. Let me just dispel any fucking myths or rumors that some people, most of you just know it's authentic, real information, and this is just straight up real video footage. Now that these videos are posted on my channel, I contacted one of the biggest, let's just put it this way, Hollywood graphic design, CGI, special effects teams about approximately a week and a half ago. I just emailed them. I'm not going to get into all the details about who I contacted, but just because it doesn't matter. I emailed them some of the links to some of my videos. Monday, no one here. No sounds but me. GoPro, stop recording. Long story short, I said, give me some feedback. What do you think? I got people who sometimes hit me up in the comments saying, oh, cool story, bro. AI removal tools. Same old bullshit, fucking Matrix plugged in bullshit comments. People say, oh, wow, these videos are really cool. It's all AI removal tool. And, oh, you filmed it on a Sunday morning. Not realizing I have videos on my channel that span an entire day, such as the Olympia video. That was shot over there's no time in parallel dimensions, but essentially there is a mimicked, replicated version of time, but there's ultimately no time because I'm the only person there. That being said, in the Olympia video, I was there over a 27-hour, more than an entire day. I shot that video over a 27-hour period. So that shoots all the fucking holes in your bullshit theories if anyone's thinking these are filmed in the morning time. That was shot over a 27-hour time frame. So there is no filming just in the morning. I film morning, mid-morning, midday, day, afternoon, evening, night, the whole fucking thing. Same with this Denver video. This was shot over about a 10-hour period from basically approximately 6:30 a.m. There's no time, again, reminding there's no time there. There's time here where I'm at now doing this commentary. There's time here on Earth, man-made time that applies to us as a result of our Earth going around 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. You know, that's why, you know, because of how our Earth revolves around the sun, that's our calendar. That's man-made time. That time only applies to us here. So there's no real true time over there in these dimensions. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So these videos aren't shot no fucking Sunday mornings. They're shot on Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, any day. Even if they were shot on Monday, even if they were shot on Sundays, it wouldn't fucking matter. Because I had one guy, I had a commenter on one of my videos, a guy from West Virginia. He says, and sorry if you hear noise in the background, I'm actually recording this sitting out here and right now in my Jeep. So you're gonna hear, I'm on Earth, you're gonna hear noise right now. Actually, there's an airplane flying overhead. See, this is also, should prove that my videos are authentic. My video, the material I put out is sincere, legit, authentic information. I could easily just record this later and instead of having this plane that's flying overhead, I could easily just edit this out, but I'm gonna keep all of it because that's the point of what I'm doing. So getting back to my point, even if these videos were shot on Sunday morning, like this guy from West Virginia, commenter, he left me a comment on one of my other videos on my other channel saying, I watched your Phoenix video and literally I live in one of the smallest towns in West Virginia, and even my small town has people out and about by 6, 7 o'clock a.m. driving and walking around and doing errands and whatever. So there's no way on God's green earth you could be in Phoenix or Denver or LA or wherever, and there's no one in these cities. So anyone who's thinking they're filmed Sunday morning, this is where you could shut the fuck up, because they're not filmed Sunday morning. And besides, like the guy from West Virginia said, even if they were filmed any given day, night, morning, evening, whatever, there would still be people around, and you see none of that in my videos. You see 5 O2Bs, faceless, no face O2Bs, otherworldly biological beings, essentially dwellers, maintainers of those realms. You see automated vehicles, planes, buses, trains, cars, vehicles. It's just not Earth, buddy. A second thing, back to my point about the graphic design, one of the most, we'll just say one of the most famous CGI graphic design, just visual arts teams in the entire country. They do some of the biggest Marvel movies, whatever, you name it, that you may watch. This is their comment about people saying this is some fucking AI removal tool. They said, just consider this. Number one, you got to be a complete moron. This is me paraphrasing now. You got to be a complete moron, idiot, delusional asshole to believe that some guy could drive around in this Jeep and walk around these empty cities and actually remove millions of vehicles moving. You'd have to take away shadows, and first off, you'd have to go frame by frame. And I have a GoPro that shoots 30 frames per second. Now times that by an hour, you're talking about literally. So it's not even remotely possible. First off, you'd have to get every single human, every single motion, every single shadow, every single car. It's just impossible. It would take you could get a team of 20 guys working on that, and that still would take a year to do. This is why I Am Legend or these Marvel movies that have, all this graphic design CGI stuff take entire teams and take multi-million dollar budgets. Besides that, this guy made the best point, which is if Corey, he was talking about me, he said, Corey, if you were really trying to put out bullshit information or just basically fake videos, your Phoenix video has the appearance of a couple biological, they're actually O2Bs, biological beings roaming the streets, aimlessly roaming the streets in that video. He goes, that video's only been seen by a few thousand people. That actually proves your authenticity. Like, if you were really trying to hide that, people have pointed these things out to you. Why wouldn't you just go back, take that video off the internet, take it down, and just fucking edit those little pieces out and then re-upload it? Exactly my point. It's like I shoot everything as it is. Why would I go through the trouble of putting out a fucking hour video to make a couple of mistakes that I can easily just go correct now? Because it hasn't been seen by anybody. A couple thousand people? Who cares? I could just easily take it down or I could do whatever. But no, I'm never going to take those fucking videos down. I'm leaving it on because everything I shot is exactly authentic. Besides that, like the guy said, this is me, of course, paraphrasing. This was a conversation I had with him on the phone. I initially started with an email about 10 days ago, but then we had a conversation because he was highly interested in how I shot these, and I told him how I shot them actually in a parallel dimension. And he, for one, believes me, and so shout out to him. He subscribes to my channel now. Hey, shout out to you, buddy. What's up? Anyways, he says, think about this too, Corey. If you were some guy who had some magical AI removal tool, why are you the only guy on Earth with this type of material? There's not a single other channel doing this like this at all. Any asshole can go film a 20-second clip of some empty street corner, but that's about all they can do. But to produce an entire video of it, impossible. Not to mention, second to that, if I had some magic, he said, the same graphic designer says there is no software that exists with that technology yet. You can remove like a single frame in a picture. You could easily graphic design, Photoshop something on one single frame, but to do that in 30 frames per second. Think about it, per second, 30 frames in one single second. And I have videos that are fucking hours long. Do you know what the math on that would be? That's like literally a couple 100,000 frames. And to work on one single frame, to take a really good graphic designer would take them probably about 25 to 30 minutes to get that shit all right. Perfect. That's just one. So 25, 30 minutes on a single, maybe even save 10 minutes per frame. Now times that by what? Hundreds of thousands of frames you're talking about. It would take years to do that. Meanwhile, I had a subscriber who asked me recently just to go and simply do an Albuquerque video. So because he was just wanting to see if I could do it. Long story short, not only did I do an Albuquerque video, but I traveled back 12 and a half, 13 years to do it. Just to kind of really prove my point. Finishing that last point though about the Hollywood, quote unquote, the graphic design CGI team, the best in the business. We're talking about the best people that make. Have you seen these budgets on these movies? Some of these budgets on these movies just for graphics alone, like a Marvel movie, you're talking like tens of millions. And meanwhile, I'm doing it with no budget, zero. I'm just filming it in my Jeep. So he was like, if you had that type of technology, if you had this magic, this imaginary software, this imaginary AI removal tools that some of these idiot commenters will think, these delusional people think, he goes, you would single-handedly be the guy. That would be more impressive than you being an interdimensional time traveler, he said. He goes, because you would single-handedly be able to put a $20 billion a year industry globally. He says around the globe between graphic design, CGI, not just for Hollywood, but Bollywood and every film industry in every country, graphic design, anything involving visual art, all that stuff is an industry that's in the tens of billions per year. And if you have some tool that you could just simply shoot a video, plop it into some fucking automated system where you could just say, okay, here's a simple prompt. Remove all moving vehicles, people, everything. Like, I would single-handedly put a $20 billion a year industry out of business because I have this tool. So that's the whole point. If you're a fucking dumbass who thinks that, you're completely delusional. You are so plugged into the matrix. It doesn't exist, buddy. That's why you can't do it. That's why you don't have the videos I have. Anyone who's thinking that. And by the way, sorry, for 90% of you watching this is not directed at you. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys' support. This channel will make more and more sense as time goes on because, again, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a messenger specifically with an assignment from these interdimensional beings, and it starts with these videos. I'll be putting out videos of me in New York, LA, you name it, like this one here in Denver, completely alone in parallel dimensions, undeniable proof. These videos are gonna get crazier and crazier, and wait till you start eventually seeing me in places like Disneyland, completely shut down by myself, like in major theme parks and just all kinds of government buildings, stuff I'm not gonna, and you can, by the way, let me just say this now while I'm on the subject of government buildings. You can forget about me showing you any sensitive material. I'm not walking into the fucking White House or Area 51 and showing you guys that type of shit. You think I'm gonna compromise the United States of America for a fucking YouTube video? No. I mean, you don't think foreign adversaries can watch these videos? It's on YouTube. This is a public domain, buddy. It's not gonna happen. So Pete, anyone asking me to show some fucking shit, I mean, you might be lucky someday I'll show you inside of a police station or something. I'll probably do some stuff like that, but whatever. And even then, I'm gonna film it, then I'll bring it to that specific agency first. Like if I go walk into a police station, say in my hometown of Seattle, I would go in there in a different dimension, I'd film it, then I would go show that to the chief of police and the people that run that department, so they can, one, see what they think of it. It'd probably blow their mind, obviously blow their mind. And two, if they even say, you can't, we don't know how you got this. Obviously we don't have no surveillance of you ever being here. GoPro, stop recording. So anyone asking me to go inside the White House and fucking just forget about that. It's not gonna happen. That's, at least at this point right now, foreseeable future, it's not happening. So just enjoy me in New York, Denver, LA, Seattle, you name it, Miami, whatever. Empty cities, probably in some cases your hometown, but never the way you've seen it or experienced it because it's a parallel dimension, it's not Earth. So it is what it is. I'm a messenger, not a YouTuber, and I will continue to put out this information, this knowledge. Yes, I'm one of 8 interdimensional time travelers. That's a fact. Second fact, there is no AI software, there's no AI special magical fucking AI removal tool. You could Google it, look it up. You could also, just start to be logical. This is where you use your common sense. How come there's a gazillion fucking YouTube channels, but I'm the only one with these videos? If this was so easily done, why wouldn't everybody just be producing videos like this left and right? Fucking obviously, this channel is barely that old, and yet people are watching these videos. So there's a fucking thirst for that type of information. So if it's so easy, why am I the only one that has it? Why am I the only one doing it? Number one. And so what? I have some magical tool that can put an entire industry, an entire CGI, computer-generated graphic design, visual art industry out of business? Because come on, dude, what? You show me. I would love to see that because I'd be actually quite fascinated to see that there's some kind of magical AI removal tool that can remove people and vehicles and shadows and motion and every single thing just by simply dropping a simple drag and drop. Come on. That's why I didn't edit anything out of my Phoenix video. What you see is what you see in all my videos. What you see is what you get. There's no special editing. There's no AI fucking removal tool. If I wanted to really cover shit up, any of the so-called mistakes that people think I made in other videos, which aren't mistakes because I just film what I film, and use your fucking common sense. That video has the first video on my channel. Even in the title, it says 99%. I never advertised it as being completely empty. I said 99% empty. Encountering 5 non-humans. That's what those O2Bs are, not fucking humans. And I'm sorry you might think that. I'm sorry you might think these videos are fake. You don't realize it, but this is my last kind of way to tell you, because going beyond this, going forward with this channel, I mean, I'm going to continue to make these videos and put them out. When I mean make them, I'm talking about travel to parallel dimensions, film what I film, and put these videos out in city after city after city. I'm also going to do commentary videos talking about what I know involving the Third World War, October 27, 2027. And there's going to just be a lot of insane stuff that I'm going to show you with this channel, stuff that involves with just a lot of it. I hate to use the word aliens or extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, space travel, everything, all kinds of stuff. Stuff that I'm exposed to, I'm involved with since this year. And yeah, I'll even show eventually at some point my first legit, not the one from when I was 15, but the one that happened, the encounter with my handler, the interdimensional being, took place in Pluto's Cave, Northern California. That was January, beginning of this year, 2024. Fast forward a couple days later, I was in Southern California, in LA, and that was the night I left to Phoenix, and that was the night this all started. Phoenix was just me having my videos, documenting my travels. That's what I was out to do. I kind of wanted to start documenting my road trips, but little did I know that was the night that they were shifting and sending me into a parallel dimension to, I don't know. I don't want to get into all those details right now. There's going to be a whole video made about that as well. But anyways, it is what it is. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you that live in Denver, you know this all too well. Denver never, under any, even during the pandemic 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, it didn't even look like this. There was still plenty of buses and cars and police out and taxi cabs. And quite frankly, I don't know why people, there's plenty of videos on YouTube, by the way, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that were shot 4 years ago from the pandemic era, and all these same people that actually have videos in these same cities that I go to. You can see videos from Phoenix, New York, LA, Denver, you name it, from the pandemic, even at its peak emptiness. And still yet, there's tons of cars driving. There's still people out walking and jogging. Like, there is no fucking videos like I have. Like, seriously, when you're done watching this video, go watch a video in New York City from the pandemic, even the biggest city at its peak back in like April or March of 2020. And yet you still see plenty of cars and people. There's just like block for block, street for street, there's people and cars. Not obviously like it is today, but still it's ton. So there's no situation under any circumstance like my videos where you can go walking. And in this video was kind of a slap to the face. By the way, last thing I'll say before I go off this commentary, if people are even still listening to this, whatever. Again, I'm an authentic human, putting out authentic material. You can call it content, whatever you want to call it. And so, yes, that's about as, hopefully people will subscribe and appreciate my authenticity and my transparency. Unlike most YouTubers, because I'm not a YouTuber, unlike most YouTubers who just present this fake ass bullshit life, and they feed you a bunch of brain rot bullshit material, like this is putting out videos just for clicks and views, just so they can get fucking subs and get money off of ad revenue, blah, blah, blah. You know how the system works. And meanwhile, here I am just putting out straight up. I mean, look, literally, I'm just rambling in this commentary now. I'm just talking all the facts that I can tell you. You could tell this is just like straight up, like from person to person. I'm just talking to you. This is not some glossed over professional, like, no, I just film these videos in different dimensions. I put them out. I have a sarcastic sense of humor, so sometimes I'll be a little bit goofy with like my last video on my channel, have a little fun with it, because you still gotta enjoy your life, while you have one. Be kind of goofy, because my personality is goofy, but at the end of the day, like it is what it is, folks. I'm just an interdimensional time traveler named Corey, who happens to be doing this now, and it wasn't really up to me. But I appreciate this opportunity and that they have me this assignment, and I call it mission, whatever, and it is what it is. So again, sorry. I apologize to you guys if you, some of you, I've had a few of you hit me up saying you actually like my rants because they're just out there and they're entertaining. Well, I appreciate you for that. But I'm going to be exposing a lot of shit with this channel. So yeah, I said I'd put out a video today. It's not the one I wanted to put out, but I needed to finish my promise and Keep my promise. Everybody asked me what's up with the Denver for the full Denver video, part 1 and part 2. So here they are together. They say, quote unquote, whoever they is, quote, THEY, quote unquote, they always told me that if the global society found out what really happens to human beings after, I'll let you read in between the lines and figure out what I'm referring to when I say after. After this so-called life, this existence. They always say if the information that I know got out there, it would cause mass hysteria and global collapse. Well, my friends, I disagree with that. This channel and who I am and the information I'm going to bring to the world is just, I don't know. It is what it is. That being said, I don't know if I'd want to tell you guys some of the things I know. Me traveling to parallel dimensions, me being involved with interdimensional beings, the 5th through 11th dimensional beings, me being involved with O2Bs, with so-called extraterrestrials, non-human life, and all of the things that I know about and am involved with. The fact that I'm an interdimensional time traveler myself and how I got involved with that, and the situation that happened to me when I was 15, and then fast forward to what started to become a reality for me at the beginning of this year, January of 24, leaving Los Angeles, going to Phoenix. I don't know. I guess I'll talk about that some other day. But all I could say is when you go to these massive, giant metropolitan cities like New York, LA, Denver, San Francisco, you name it, but you're not actually on the Earth version of that city. You're in some parallel realm. You're in the universal mimic galaxy. You are, in fact, in a replicated, reproduced, carbon copy fake version of an American city that is reflected in an entirely different dimension, but that has been developed by biological beings, which I can't tell you about right now. But when you walk around in these locations, these replicated locations, and you find out that all the buildings are one giant mirage, basically one giant facade, none of it's real. It really is, like the Matrix in that sense. It's so much like the Matrix that it's, quite frankly, I don't know, how would you say? I guess it maybe is the simulation. It is the Matrix. But not like some fucking movie, I don't know. Maybe something a little bit different. But, that being said, as the old saying goes, don't go sticking your nose in places you don't want to find out, Don't go poking around in the dark. You might find something that you don't want to know, something that comes to light. So while I'm walking around in these cities, I can go into any grocery store, so-called grocery store, a fake Walmart, a fake 7-Eleven, a fake gas station, a fake mall, a fake McDonald's, a fake restaurant, a fake hotel, anything. And you'll notice that everything appears exactly like it appears on Earth. In the store, there's groceries. In the malls, there are clothes and all types of other objects and items, inanimate objects and items. But when you start going into the giant skyscraper buildings that are centered in the middle of these giant, fake, replicated, parallel dimensions, and you start poking your nose around in the dark, when you enter these buildings, you don't even have to enter these buildings. Look what happens right here. When you walk up close enough and stick your phone in the window, you find out that all the buildings are empty. Floor after floor, level after level. The elevators don't even work. You can go up the stairs to every level. Every fucking office, so-called office building, it's empty. It's a facade. There are no humans here. And there's reasons for that. If I told you what happens to you after this, like I said at the beginning of this whole quote unquote spiel, this whole conversation right here, it would be not good. I mean, it's not good for me to tell human beings that, you know, ultimately, I don't know. Maybe I should just not say it. So yeah, I don't know. Let's just save it for a different one, a different video. I have a lot of answers to probably most of you guys' many questions. Yeah. You have questions, I have answers. My name is Corey. I'm an interdimensional time traveler. Don't forget to subscribe, put your notifications on, because when these videos come out, hopefully they'll stay online forever, but you never know. Maybe I'll take them down, or maybe YouTube will take them down. So if your notification's on, hopefully you can see it. You can see them as soon as they pop up. Because like I said, who knows how long they'll be around. But we'll just pause what I'm saying for now, and we'll pick that up in some other day, some other video. Okay, my friends. I'll catch you later.